9th July 1975. Jamaica's Prime Minister, Michael Manley, arrives to a tumultuous reception by the Cuban people, led by their Prime Minister, Fidel Castro. The feeling of friendship is warm and strong, underlining the long-standing ties between Cuba and Jamaica. Jose Marti, the apostle of Cuban freedom, found refuge in Jamaica from political persecution near the turn of the century. Mutual cooperation is the topic, as officials of both governments hold talks at the Palace of Justice. Mrs. Beverly Manley had talks at the headquarters of the Women's Federation of Cuba with the Committee of Women, accompanied by Senator Arnold Bertram and Mrs. Valerie McNeil. A gift for the women of Cuba. Mrs. Manley met some of the younger generation of Cuba as she observed the running of one of the numerous daycare centers found in the thickly populated area.
You, sir, represent a country which is very closely linked with the history of our struggles for independence. Jamaica offered asylum, a home, a place of work, and a meeting place for innumerable Cuban patriots. Many of our most illustrious forebears, as, for example, Antonio Maceo and Maximo Gomez, found protection and warmth in that generous and hospitable land of Jamaica. In the first decades of this century, when Jamaica knew neocolonialism, thousands of Jamaicans who could not find work in their native land came to Cuba to work on the sugar plantations. Their blood joined with our blood. Today, there are families in the countryside, students in our schools, technicians in our industries, athletes in our most famous teams, officials in our army, militants in our party who bear Jamaican surnames. The beacon of the socialist revolution redeemed them all, raised us all up, and has made brothers of all of us. These facts, which I have just explained, shows the affection which we feel towards Jamaica, and explains also the warmth with which we have received both you and your delegation, and leads us to express our feeling of friendship. Thanks. By awarding you our most beautiful and highest award, which bears the name of the illustrious, immortal, and beloved José Martí.
My dear friend and comrade, Prime Minister Fidel Castro, distinguished guests, comrades,
compañero primer ministro Fidel Castro, distinguidos amigos.
It is with deep feelings of gratitude and a sense of history that I accept the National Order of Jose Marti today. May all who work for change in the world heed that injunction so that in due course we shall overcome. And may I add, finally, on behalf of my wife, my delegation, and myself, our deep gratitude to you, Prime Minister Fidel Castro, for your invitation, to your great people for the kindness with which you have received us, to your revolutionary government for the great things that you do here in Cuba. You, sir, stand as the incomparable example to all who aspire towards a better world. Therefore, may I, on behalf of all who are with me, say, long live Cuba, long live the revolutionary government, and above all, long live the incomparable Fidel Castro.
On to the other side of Cuba, Santiago. And an overwhelming welcome. Flags of both countries everywhere, a demonstration of the friendship and respect by the people of Cuba for Jamaica and her Prime Minister. Mr. Manley is welcomed to the 26th of July school by a young pupil. This school was formerly the Moncado Barracks, where the first strike for freedom against the oppressive Batista regime was made by Castro's forces. history of Cuba and her revolution is displayed for all to see. The Avenue of Heroes, the road from Santiago de Cuba to Siboney Farm, a living monument to those whose lives were sacrificed to the cause of the revolution. The humble, bullet-scarred farmhouse at Siboney, where Fidel Castro and his colleagues planned the liberation of Cuba, where he and 8 fellow revolutionaries hid in a well behind the house while bullets sprayed mercilessly. Today, a museum, a grim but inspiring reminder of blood that was shed, that others might enjoy a better life. One of the largest industrial companies of pre-revolutionary Cuba, the Picadores, owned this massive structure. Today, it is a school for the brightest Cuban children. After a grueling time, the ever-vigilant press grab a snooze whenever, wherever. This time at the Santiago airport, waiting for their flight to return to Havana. A brief stop at the Picadores Valley Farm. 450,000 acres, 1.5 times the size of the parish of St. Anne, used for the breeding and development of beef and dairy cattle, owned and managed by the state. Among the produce from the dairy industry are 7 different varieties of cheese made in Cuba. Alamar, a living example of cooperation and self-reliance. A community built entirely by resident volunteers.
Sociedad que encarna el verdadero espíritu de la igualdad,
for the society which embodies the
la
true spirit
justicia
of equality, justice,
y la hermandad entre los hombres.
brotherhood among men.
Y son estos sentimientos
And these are the feelings
los que inspiran
which
nuestra amistad
inspire our
y
friendship
nuestra solidaridad con el
and our
pueblo de Jamaica.
solidarity with the people of Jamaica.
Y si voy a expresar en muy breves palabras
And if I am to express
lo
in
que
very
siente, lo que piensa
short words
y lo que cree y lo que desea decirle nuestro pueblo,
our people wishes
es
to
decirle,
express to the people of Jamaica
hermano Michael Manley,
is to say, brother Michael
hermano
Manley,
de la delegación jamaicana,
brothers of the Jamaican delegation,
hermanos jamaicanos,
Jamaican brothers,
ustedes pueden contar
can rely
con la
on
solidaridad
the
de Cuba.
solidarity of Cuba.
Ustedes en cualquier circunstancia podrán contar
No matter the circumstances, you will
con
be
el
able
apoyo
to count
firme y decidido de nuestro pueblo.
the firm and decided support of our people.
Ustedes en cualquier
You, in
circunstancia,
any circumstances,
podrán contar
will be able to count
con su hermana Cuba.
with your sister Cuba.
¡Viva la amistad entre Jamaica y Cuba!
Long live the friendship between Jamaica and Cuba.
¡Viva el magnífico
Long live
dirigente y primer ministro de Jamaica,
Wonderful
compañero Michael
Prime Minister
Manley!
Jamaica, Michael Manley.
¡Patria o muerte! ¡Venceremos!
Comrade Fidel, I feel
compañero Fidel,
that this great rally
considero que este gran meeting
cements, brings together
cementa, junta
the potential strength
la fuerza potencial
of the Cuban and the Jamaican people.
de los pueblos de Cuba y Jamaica.
I believe that we are laying a foundation
Creo que hemos echado los cimientos
whose effects
cuyos efectos
are going to spill over
van a expansionarse
far beyond the boundaries
mucho más allá de las
and
fronteras
the shores
y las costas
of Cuba and Jamaica
de
alone.
Cuba y Jamaica solas.
I am sure that there are
Estoy seguro
powers and principalities in the world
de que hay potencias y reinos en el mundo
that feel a little tremor of concern
que sienten un cierto trauma de preocupación
when they hear of this meeting.
cuando escuchan estas cosas.
I have only one word of advice I could offer to them.
Puedo darles solamente un consejo,
And that is,
y es que
think well about past sins.
piensen cuidadosamente en todos los pecados que han cometido en el pasado.
My comrades and friends, finally,
Mis amigos y compañeros, finalmente,
we face a long, hard road.
tenemos ante nosotros un camino largo y duro.
We face tremendous problems.
Nos enfrentamos a tremendos problemas,
But our eyes
pero nuestros ojos
are fixed
están fijos
on the mountain tops
en la cima de las montañas
of a dream,
de un sueño,
of a new kind of society,
de un nuevo tipo de sociedad
based on principles
basado en los principios
of brotherhood,
de la hermandad,
of equality,
de la igualdad,
of respect for people,
del respeto a los pueblos,
of love for children,
del amor a los niños
and of working together for the common good of all
y
mankind.
de trabajar juntos por el bienestar de toda la humanidad.
The path of progress,
El camino del progreso,
the path of revolution,
el camino de la revolución
does not proceed in a straight line.
no avanza en una línea recta.
Sometimes the road will turn.
A veces el camino dará una vuelta,
There will be obstacles,
habrá obstáculos,
but our eyes are fixed on that mountain top,
pero nuestros ojos siguen fijos
and
en esa cima
our feet are marching on that road.
y nuestros pies se marchan por ese camino.
And I want you to know
Y quiero que sepan
that every step that you take,
que cada paso que dan ustedes
you do not take alone,
no lo dan solos.
because the feet of the Jamaican people are marching beside yours.
Los pies porque los pies del pueblo jamaicano marchan juntos a los de
And
ustedes.
one day together,
Y algún día juntos
we will stand on that mountain top,
nos pararemos en el tope de esa montaña
and we will look back down that road,
y miraremos abajo hacia ese camino.
and we shall say, together we have overcome.
The true spirit of cooperation and friendship between neighboring nations, as a joint technical, economic, and cultural agreement is signed by both countries. And 5 momentous days of July 1975 come to an end. 5 days when geographical neighbors rekindled a friendship long in existence, but a reunion too long delayed.